and entrepreneur straight out of New York City, Michael Chernow. What's cracking?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Creatures of Habit Podcast. Today is another solo cast. I want to talk about sleep and evening routine. It is so important. It is so important. You know, Creatures of Habit launched with Meal One, which is a overnight, high protein, oatmeal superfood breakfast. It could either be the first meal of your day, you can have it as a post-workout or a pre-workout meal. But I launched Creatures of Habit with Meal One because it was the most authentic thing to me when I launched Creatures of Habit. I eat Meal One every single day without fail and have been for many, many years. Creatures of Habit is about a year and 10 months in, and I, over the last year, have spent an enormous amount of time developing our second product, Knight Kap. Knight Kap is the bookend to your day. So you start your day with Meal One. That kicks you off on an incredible journey with nutrition for you. And the way I highly suggest you cap your night off is with our newest product, Knight Kap. So I'm going to walk you through my evening routine and how Knight Kap sort of plays a role there, a big role there. But I want to quickly tell you what Knight Kap is. So Knight Kap is a sleep support elixir. It is a powder. It is a blend that I've been in R&D for over a year. R&D means research and development. I wanted to make an unbelievably delicious sleep support supplement that did not have melatonin, because melatonin is a supplement that I've used on and off over the years, and ultimately I found myself becoming reliant on melatonin, feeling groggy in the morning because I was taking more and more melatonin over time, and then I just stopped taking melatonin because I felt like I was almost addicted to melatonin as like a sleeping pill kind of thing. So when sleep is so important to me. I know how important sleep is to success and happiness in every single aspect of life. I've given you guys something to really, really own your mornings with. Now I wanted to create something for you to finish your day with and own your evenings with. And so that's what Knight Kap is. So I spent a year developing it. It is a blend of 0 THC CBD. It has GABA, magnesium, L-theanine, ashwagandha, reishi mushroom, a little bit of lion's mane. It has MCT oil powder in it to give it some really nice body. It has some chamomile flower extract in it. All of these ingredients blended together make for an unbelievable supplement that it comes in a powder form. You put it into a mug, you add hot water or hot milk of your choice, whatever milk you want to use. I actually do a bit of both. So I take my Knight Kap every night. I put a scoop into a mug. I add some almond milk right out of the fridge. I froth it with our frother. So I add about a quarter cup of almond milk. I get it nice and incorporated. I get the powder incorporated into the milk. And then I take hot water from my kettle and I add about 6 ounces of hot water. And it is just an unbelievably delicious cup of hot chocolate. I really wanted to make it taste like Swiss Miss hot chocolate. And so that was the hardest part, getting the flavor profile right. It is so delicious. It is like, not only does it help me relax, fall, and stay asleep at 8:30 at night is when I take it every night, but it is a sweet tooth quencher. So I, like many people, have a massive sweet tooth. And that sweet tooth tends to kick in for me at about 8:30 at night when I am typically watching some Netflix with my wife, and all I really want to do is I want to eat Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups, Reese's Pieces, M&Ms, give me some ice cream. I'm down for that for sure. Give me some Reese's ice cream and I love you forever. And so the beauty of Knight Kap is that it really has become this sweet tooth quencher for me. It doesn't always do the trick. It doesn't always stave me from grabbing something out of the pantry. However, it does act as an incredible buffer. It's an incredible buffer, and I would say 7 out of 10 times it does the trick, and I don't need anything after it. So It is an unbelievable supplement to help me relax, get me into a really, really great position to wind down and fall asleep, and then ultimately really helps to impact my quality of sleep. So that is Knight Kap. So let's get into my evening routine. Evening routine for me starts at about 5:15 in the afternoon, and I'm still sitting at my desk. I know it's 5:15. I'm really trying to wind down my emails, and it's like at that end of the day, I'm really trying to, and it's so funny that I'm saying end of the day, 5:15, for so many years of my life as a business person and my career as a restaurateur, 5:15 was like when I started my day. So for me to be able to say now that I'm, sort of ending my day at 5:15 is really wonderful. And also super weird and awkward and makes me almost feel guilty, but whatever. So 5:15, I'm sitting at my desk. I am trying to get a few more lines through my to-do list and things that I want to accomplish for the day. And at 5:30 every single day, I close the computer. And that means that I close the computer for the day. I draw a hard boundary now. I'm a boundary person. At 5:30, for me, I close the computer and I do not open it again. That doesn't mean that I'm not on my phone a little bit, because I'll get to that, but I do close the computer and I'm not activating on the computer anymore for the rest of the day. I clean my office. I clean my desk. I make everything feel good and tidy and no stress, no chaos. So everything is neat. Everything's in the right place. I wind up my charging wires. I make sure that there's no coffee cups or cups on my desk. I do the dishes for my meal prep container and my creature container that I have every day at the desk. I make sure that everything is perfect so that when I walk back in the next day, I'm like walking into a brand new cleaned office. I wipe down the surfaces. I make it feel really good. I throw everything in my bag. I grab the pooch and we walk down to the truck. I get in the car and I do my absolute very, very best to not take any work calls on the drive home from my office to the house, which is about a 20-minute drive. So I'm in the car typically at around 5:35, 5:40, and I listen to a podcast, I listen to an audiobook, or sometimes I will just put on some really awesome music and I will drive home and really begin the wind down routine there. Once I get to my driveway, this is a very important one that I want to talk about. I believe in transitions. So about a year ago or so, I started doing this, and you guys might have seen me share about it. I'm sure you've seen me share about it before, or if you follow my content, if you listen to my content. Anyway, I get into the driveway, and I drive halfway up the driveway, and I shut the truck off. And I put my hands, if you're watching this, I put my hands on my knees and I let my arms sort of sit on my quads, and I take a deep breath, and then I close my eyes. And I go through a breathwork exercise that sometimes varies, but most of the time it's pretty similar. It is a 5 to 10 rounds of box breathing where I breathe in through my nose for 4 seconds. I hold my breath at the top for 4 seconds. I breathe out through my mouth for 4 seconds, and I hold my breath at the bottom for 4 seconds. I do that 5 to 10 times, and then I check myself, and I open my eyes, and I'm like, all right, how do I feel? Do I feel stressed out? Do I still feel anxious? Do I still have that work energy? And if I don't, and I feel like I'm kind of at baseline, basically I want to feel like how I do before I leave the house in the morning when I get in my truck to go to work. And if I'm not there yet, I will do another style of breath work where I will do 2 inhales through my nose and a long, slow exhale. So it's kind of like this. I'll do that 5 to 10 times. And if you notice, I really do try to blow all the air out of my system. I'm not forcing it. I'm just letting it come out. But towards the end of that out breath, I am really, really engaging my abs, and I'm trying to squeeze all of the air out of my system. And then I'll do another, double inhale. And so I'll do that 5 to 10 times if necessary. After doing those 2 styles of breath work, I am definitely in a different mindset headspace. I am ready to walk into my house and be a father and a husband. And the reason why I do that is because I, about a year ago, found myself walking into my house, still phone in hand. My son wanted my attention. I was so preoccupied on my phone. I kind of snapped at him. I barked at him. And I caught myself saying, oh my God, like, this is not okay. This is wrong. This is not how I'm going to unwind. This is not how I'm going to be a great father. This is not the kind of example I want to show to my sons. And so that's when I knew that I needed a transition between the work energy intensity and coming into my house. And that's where that breath work comes in. So now that is my MO. And before I walk into the house as well, I turn my phone onto airplane mode so that there are no distractions. I am not on the phone from 6 o'clock in the evening until 8:30 at night after the kids are asleep. And so the way the rest of the night goes, my wife has dinner on the table Monday through Friday. She cooks dinner every night. I cook on the weekends. She's very punctual. Dinner is ready to rock and roll. It is on the table at 6 o'clock. I love that structure. I love having dinner every night at 6. I love sitting down at the dinner table with my wife and kids every single day. If I don't get to do it, even when I'm traveling, I'm not happy. I love sitting at the dinner table with my wife and kids every day, and we do something called the rose, the bud. We go rose, thorn, bud, and seed. So we all walk around the table. We each say something that was awesome that happened during the day, something that was not awesome that could have gone better, something that we're looking forward to. That's our bud, and our seed is someone that we were helpful towards, someone that we were of service to throughout the day. And we all walk through that, and it's a really nice way for us to connect while we're eating dinner. And we typically eat from 6 to 6:30, and then we'll play some games. And I'm like all focused family mode at this point. Like I'm locked in. For a while, my wife used to say to me, "You're here, but you're not here." And I think a lot of people, hard chargers specifically, people that listen to this podcast, can identify with that. You can be physically there and mentally completely checked out. And the words that are being said are just not resonating. They're going in one ear and out the other. My wife used to say to me, she would talk to me for 5 minutes, and she'd say, did you hear a word I said? And I'd be like, oh yeah. And then she'd say, okay, what did I say? And I'd be like, God damn. So I don't want to live that lifestyle anymore. So that breathwork stuff really does help me get into dad mode, family mode. And if you don't have a wife and kids or a husband and kids or whatever it is, even just getting out of that work intensity mode is super, super powerful and helpful in regards to winding down your day. So we do that. We play a few games, and then we hang out until about 7:15, where either I will take my kids up or my wife will take the kids up. We switch back and forth who puts the kids down every night. I put my kids down. I will do another solo podcast on what that looks like, but I have a pretty awesome thing that I do with my boys every night that I really believe has helped shape the way they think in regards to value in life. I really try to deliver, I really try to instill values into my kids. And so I will, if I'm putting them down, it's from 7:15 to about 7:45, 7:50. And then I come downstairs and I make myself a smoothie. I make a smoothie 5 nights a week. That is how I finish out my nutritional day with a meal. I make a smoothie. It's pretty much just a protein smoothie. And then I'll have that. And then at 8:30, I have Knight Kap. And so I make the smoothie. I sit down with my wife. I eat my smoothie while we're watching something on Netflix. At 8:30, I make my Knight Kap, and I explain to you the way I make Knight Kap. I take a scoop of Knight Kap. I put it into a mug. I add some almond milk. For me, it's almond milk, about a quarter cup. I froth it for about 10 seconds just to incorporate all the powder with the milk, and then I add hot water to it. And then so that's about 8:35, and I'm sipping on my Knight Kap at 8:35. And I'm hanging out with my wife. We're watching some stuff on Netflix. And at 9:30, typically, we make our way upstairs, brush our teeth. I say a little prayer every night. I thank God for helping me to stay sober and giving me an opportunity to live another day. And then in my bedroom, there is, I have a mattress topper that keeps my bed super chilly. I like a nice cold. I need cold temperatures at night, and my wife doesn't love a cold room. So instead of fighting with my wife about having a cold room, I invested in a mattress topper that keeps my side of the bed cold. And so I do that. We've got blackout shades. We have white noise going. I've got an awesome sleep mask that we have partnered with a company called Dream Recovery on these amazing sleep masks that if you subscribe to Knight Kap, you will get a unbelievable sleep mask. If you subscribe to the full month's supply of Knight Kap, you'll get a sleep mask. I highly recommend you do that. Sleep mask is a game changer. And so I've got my sleep mask on, blackout shades, white noise, cold bed. I've got an AirPod. I always put my AirPod in every night in one ear, and I will go to sleep listening to some sort of an audiobook, podcast, and I'm typically asleep in a minute or less. One other thing that I want to mention that is so important about my night, it is a very, very new habit that I've introduced to my sleep routine. Thanks to Jason Wersland, the founder of Therabody, I sleep with 4 pillows. I've got 2 pillows that I put my head on, and I actually take 2 pillows and I put them like a V facing me. So my head is inside the V, and I've got these 2 pillows that are sort of like, a V. I mean, it's hard to explain if you're not looking at me here, but basically my head is inside the V at the tip of the V, at the top of the V, if the V is upside down. And so that's 2 pillows up there. I have 1 pillow in between my legs, and then another pillow behind me on my back. And I sleep on my stomach, so typically that pillow in between my legs is actually just under one leg. And then if I roll over, I have another pillow that I put my other leg on. So I've got 4 pillows, 2 pillows down by my legs, 2 pillows up in a V. And what I've learned about the pillow situation is it is so important. I've got a bad lower back. I lift a lot of heavy weights. My lower back definitely is something that bothers me. It's plagued me for the last decade or so. And once I started putting a pillow underneath a leg of mine, I have not dealt with back pain that wakes me up at night. It's unbelievable. I highly recommend pillow either in between your legs or under one leg at least. I kind of bend my knee and I always have a pillow under my leg now. It's unbelievable how much it's changed my sleep. Anyway, so that's my sleep. I'm typically asleep by 9:35, 9:40. And I wake up, between 4:45 and 5:15. Naturally, I don't use an alarm. Anyway, sleep is so goddamn important. And so any way that you can optimize your sleep, I highly recommend doing. Knight Kap would be an amazing tool for you to introduce into your sleep routine. It is so tasty and is incredibly effective. It's incredibly effective. When we were shooting Knight Kap content and it was in the middle of the day, we were shooting content for Knight Kap, I had probably 2.5 full portions of Knight Kap throughout the hour and a half, 2 hours that we were shooting. I needed a nap. It really works. I promise you. And it is really delicious. So that's my sleep routine. It starts, at my desk at work, and I really do think about that as the third part of my day in terms of routines. There's my morning routine. There's my family to work routine, and then there's my work back to family sleep routine. Again, I appreciate you guys for listening to this podcast. It means a lot to me. Thank you guys so much for sharing how much you like this podcast. It really just motivates me to want to do more and more and more and more and more. So I hope I'm offering value in your life. If you love this podcast, it would mean the world to me if you took the 2 minutes to go over to Apple or Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, and give me a review. A 5-star rating would be incredible. Share this podcast with your friends and family. Hop over to the creaturesofhabit.com website and pick up a bag of Knight Kap to support. It's our newest product. We've only had meal one to until now, and now we've got Knight Kap out there, and it's kicking butt. We're getting great feedback on it. So I would love if you would give it a try. And until the next one, y'all, you know the drill. Peace.